Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My dear students, Assalamu alaikum and welcome to all in my virtual class. I am Shahjalal Ahmed Pial, lecturer in Finance and Banking, Milestone College, Uttara. I hope all are fine and well by the grace of Almighty Allah. Dear students, let's start the class. Today I will start a new chapter. This chapter name is Risk and Return. Today I will discuss only the basic concept of risk and return. This is the lecture number 1 in this chapter. Let's go start. Risk and return. In this chapter we will discuss these topics are number 1, basic concept of risk and return, definition of risk and return, types of risk, definition of return, definition of risk premium, and difference between risk and uncertainty, concept of portfolio investment, definition of portfolio risk, definition of portfolio return, risk management methods, CAPM model, and also mathematical problems. But today I will discuss only the basic concept of risk and return. Risk and return. We know every business and every business decisions and every investment decisions are related in risk and return. This is the main factor of an investor to take his investment decisions. Risk and return are the main two factors that most influenced to make an investment decisions. Any kind of investment has two major objectives: maximization of return and minimize the risk. Higher risks associate with a greater probability of higher return and lower risk with a greater probability of smaller return. The risk-return trade-off states that the potential return rise with an increase in risk. This is the very important point, because most of the time in the exam this point is make a questions. So risk and return are interrelated topics. If you will higher risk, then you will be a return higher. So if you want to high return, you will invest in the high risky project. This is an investor and he is thinking about his investment decisions. He consider a risk and a return about his investment projects. He consider 4 investment projects: number 1, stock market; number 2, shipping business; number 3, bonds market; and number 4, commercial bank. If he will stock market invest, then it will be return 60%, and he will be invested his fund in shipping business, then he will be return 40%, and he will invest his fund in treasury bond, he will be return 12%, and last he will invest in bank and he will be returned from bank is 6%. Dear students, look at the image of this risk and return. Higher risk. Stock market is higher risky market. We also know that, and it returns highest the others investment projects. And shipping business is another risky business, and it will be return higher than other two projects. And we know treasury bonds has no risk or low scale risk, and it will be returned lower return. And bank are the risk-free investment sector, and it will be the lowest return is 6%. From the example, we understand that when the risk increase, the profit must be increased, and when the risk decrease, the profit must be decreased. If an investor expects maximum profit, he or she will need to invest his funds in more risky projects. The risk-return trade-off states that the potential return rises with an increase in risk. So an investor has to make an investment decisions by adjusting risk and return. Finally, we can say that if you expect high profits, you have to invest in more risky projects. Risk premium. Mr. Jaman is an army officer and his basic salary is taka 40,000. And Miss Anika is another army officer and her basic salary also 40,000. When Mr. Jaman joined Rapid Action Battalion or RAP, his basic salary increased by 25% and it will be taka 50,000 because her risk increase, job risk increase. RAP also be a risky operation, manage risky operation and life risk. And Miss Anika joined the UN mission in Sierra Leone. It also higher risk than Mr. Jaman. So it increased 90% of basic salaries and she will give taka 76,000. From the example, Mr. Jaman's risk premium equal 50,000 minus basic salary 40,000 equals 10,000, and Miss Anika's risk premium also high because Anika's risk is very high out of our country and his foreign country in Sierra Leone. So his risk is high and risk premium also high. 76,000 minus 40,000, it is taka 36,000. So risk premium means the additional return that investor expect from and based on its level of risk. The extra profit that an investor earns for taking more risk is called risk premium. The risk premium is the reward for taking more risk. Now we want to know about a definition of risk. There are three images of risk. First, earthquake. Second, marine perils. And third, fire risk. Most of the time, we faces many risks in our business. People say no risk, no gain. So every businessman took risks for his profit. The profitability that an actual return on an investment will be lower than the expected return. That means a risk. The uncertainty of return of the desired profit and the uncertainty of the return of invested capital is called risk. A businessman faces two risks. One, expected profit is another, capital recovery. Risk is involved with almost every business decisions. So an investor has to make an investment decisions by accurately measuring the risk. Now, definition of return. Every investors hope that minimum investment and maximum return, and long-term return and safety return, maximization profit. A return can also be expressed as a percentage derived from the ratio of profit to investment. A rate of return is the gain or loss of an investment over a certain period of time. So return positive and return negative both are applied. In other words, the rate of return is the gain or losses compared to the cost of an initial investment, typically expressed in the form of a percentage. When the return is positive, it is considered a gain or profit, and when the return is negative, it reflects a loss on the investment. So, dear students, now I hope all are understood what are the risk and return. Thanks to all. Stay with me and goodbye.